Animals have an incredible ability to sense emotions, something we've witnessed countless times in the bonds we form with them. But what happens when a majestic, powerful creature like a horse encounters a child in distress, specifically, an autistic child experiencing a meltdown? Today, we'll explore a moment that reminds us of the unpredictable beauty of the human-animal connection. Let's step into this story. It was a sunny afternoon on a quiet farm. The air was fresh, carrying the soft scent of hay and the faint murmur of nature all around. In the middle of the open paddock stood a magnificent horse, a glossy chestnut with a flowing mane that shimmered under the sunlight. His name was Thunder, a name that seemed ironic for such a gentle soul. Nearby, a small group of visitors had gathered, families and children eager to experience the serenity of being around horses. Among them was a young boy, around 8 years old, accompanied by his parents. His name was Ethan. Ethan was on the autism spectrum. While Ethan loved animals, his sensory sensitivities made environments like this tricky to navigate. The bustling energy of people and the unpredictable movements of animals created a fragile balance for him, one that could tip over at any moment. As the minutes ticked by, the energy around the paddock grew. Someone dropped a bucket, a dog barked in the distance, and the buzz of conversation rose. For Ethan, these small sounds blended into a cacophony, overwhelming his senses. His breathing quickened, his small hands clutched his ears, and his face twisted in distress. His parents immediately recognized the signs. Ethan was having a meltdown. A meltdown is not a tantrum. It's a response to sensory overload, a way the body tries to regulate itself when everything feels too much. Ethan began to cry out, his voice sharp and piercing, cutting through the farm's tranquil atmosphere. He dropped to the ground, his hands pounding the grass as he struggled to cope with the overwhelming sensations. Thunder, the horse, stood a few yards away, grazing peacefully. But as Ethan's cries rang out, something shifted. The horse's ears perked up, swiveling toward the sound. His muscles tensed, and his posture became rigid. To onlookers, it might have seemed as if Thunder was startled or agitated. After all, horses are prey animals, and sudden loud noises can trigger their instinct to flee. For a brief moment, Thunder's powerful frame seemed poised for movement, a flash of uncertainty in his usually calm demeanor. But then, something remarkable happened. Instead of bolting or rearing up, Thunder took a slow, deliberate step forward. His massive hooves pressed gently into the soft earth as he moved closer to Ethan. Onlookers held their breath, unsure of what would happen next. Ethan's cries continued, his world still spinning out of control. But Thunder didn't flinch. He lowered his head, his nostrils flaring slightly as he took in the boy's scent. With a soft nicker, he reached out, his warm breath brushing against Ethan's hair. Ethan's parents watched in astonishment. Slowly, they noticed a shift in their son. Ethan's cries began to soften, his breathing steadied, and his hands unclenched from his ears. He looked up, his tear-streaked face now inches from Thunder's muzzle. For a moment, it was as if the world paused. Thunder stood perfectly still, his large, gentle eyes locked on Ethan's. The boy reached out hesitantly, his small hand brushing against the horse's velvety nose. Thunder didn't pull away. Instead, he leaned in closer, offering a silent reassurance that everything was okay. The meltdown had passed. Ethan's parents knelt beside him, tears of relief glistening in their eyes. They whispered words of encouragement, but their gratitude was also directed at Thunder, the gentle giant who had calmed their son in a way no one else could. Thunder returned to grazing, as if nothing extraordinary had happened. But for everyone who witnessed the moment, it was unforgettable, a testament to the unspoken bond that can form between humans and animals, even in the most unlikely circumstances. This story reminds us of the incredible empathy animals can show. Thunder, with his instinct and gentle spirit, turned what could have been a chaotic moment into one of peace. It also highlights the challenges faced by autistic individuals and their families, how even the most serene environments can become overwhelming, and how vital it is for the world to show understanding and patience. Perhaps this moment was more than a chance encounter. Perhaps it was a reminder of the connections that bind all living beings, a reminder to pause, to listen, and to offer kindness, just as thunder did that day. Thank you for joining us in this journey. If you've ever experienced a moment like this, where an animal touched your heart in an unexpected way, share it with us. Until next time, let's continue to celebrate the beauty of the human-animal connection.